So in Group A, in the second round of fixtures in Group A, Austria are playing Northern Ireland at St Mary's in Southampton, the Women's Euros. It's finished 2-0 to Austria. Some things that surprised me about this game. One, that Austria only got 2 goals and only won 2-0, considering the dominance they had in this game. Secondly, how long it took for Austria to get the second goal. That I did find very, very surprising. And how passive Northern Ireland were in defence. And their lack of pressing of the Austrian backline when the Austrians, in their defensive third, were in possession. Very surprised by that at times. The midfield battle was won by Austria. It was very clear very early on that they had established dominance and they were attacking at will. So I am a bit surprised that it took until the 18th minute for Austria to get their first goal. Some of the defending, you can see the defenders are drawn to the ball. It creates space for other players in the Austrian attack to get on the ball, to form those combinations. So defensively, ball watching is the best way to describe it. There were some attacks where all the defensive line around the ball carrier, around the attacking player in possession, and that allows other players to have far more freedom, far more space, and far more time when on the ball to make a decision whether to pass, shoot, or run with it, or cross. But the first goal comes from a free kick, from a deflection off the wall into the path of Schertel, who just stabs it home. It is a scrappy goal to give away. Now, whether the goalkeeper has told the wall to try and block at source, the defender sticks her leg out. It deflects into the path of the Austrian defender Schertel, who just sticks her leg out and stabs it home. That is a frustrating goal to give away on a coaching point of view. Two-player wall rather than a larger wall of maybe 3 or 4 defenders in the wall. And it's a low-struck free kick. It's not trying to bend it round or over the wall. It's driven low deliberately to get that deflection, I feel. Goalkeeper, no chance on that one. Which is a shame. The Northern Ireland goalkeepers had a very good tournament so far, considering they've lost both games, which is frustrating. And it's kind of worrying when your best player is your goalkeeper. That says that things aren't going well with the 10 players in front. But I am surprised it was 1-0 at half time. Northern Ireland had the odd flash in there, the odd chance. They weren't completely without attacking intent, but they didn't get enough ball in the right areas to threaten the Austrian defence. The Austrian defence was not put under a lot of pressure even when they were in possession, so the back four are just allowed to pass it around at leisure and pick passes to the midfield and start attacks from deep without being under pressure and without feeling that intensity that you would expect at this level. Now, it takes until the 87th minute for Naschen to get her goal. Listed as a left back, more like a left wing back, left winger. It's actually a very, very good finish. Good run from the crossfield pass. Defenders, the whole defensive line has misread that. There's also a height disparity between the defender McGee and Naschen, who's a taller player. Defender misreads the flight of the ball. And it's a very good finish across the goalkeeper. Yes, Jackie Burns gets a hand on it. And I think she'll be a bit frustrated that she didn't keep that out of the net. But I am surprised that was the end of the scoring. And I'm surprised it took until the 87th minute for Austria to get their second goal. While Northern Ireland aren't officially eliminated from this tournament yet, if England and Norway draw their game, Northern Ireland are out. So they're not officially out of the tournament yet, but they've conceded 6 goals. They've scored 1. The goal differential is not good reading, I would have to say. The England-Norway game does take on some importance because if England or Norway win that, they've qualified for the next stage of the tournament. That's how crucial that game actually is at this stage, which is why it's so important to win your first game. Austria, while they're still within a chance of qualification, it does rely on England-Norway going in their favour. And a draw actually benefits them more than one team beating the other. I think it does actually benefit them more. I don't think Austria will have enough to beat the Norwegians, looking at how the Norwegians played in the first game. But we'll have to see how that game plays out, how England perform. They looked a bit nervy in the first game. Austria showed more in this game than they did in the first game. I think They played the ball with more pace, and you could see by full time the Northern Irish players were out on their feet. I think the heat has definitely had an impact on this game. They just weren't on the same level of pace and fitness. And this is the problem, I think, with women's football. This is the criticism: is the gap between the better teams and the lower ranked teams is quite big. And even teams like France and Italy, it was 5-0 at half time last night. I did watch bits of the first half of the France-Italy game, and that game was done by half time. And they're two of the better teams in the tournament that you would expect to see in the latter stages. So even two reasonably evenly matched sides, it can be lopsided results. That's one of the issues, I think, with the women's game compared to the men's. But I think the quality gap is closing. There's still not been a goalless game yet in this tournament, which, again, in recent tournaments like the recent Men's World Cup and the Men's Euros recently, there's been very, very few goalless games, very few goalless draws. So goal scoring is definitely in both the men's and women's game on the up. And I'm going to have to do a video at some point looking at goals per game average in football. Soccer, if you're North American or from Australia, because I honestly believe that goals per game average has gone up in both the men's and women's game. Northern Ireland, I mean, look, they're probably out of contention for qualification to the next round. They finish off with a match against England. That is going to be quite an enjoyable watch. England going as heavy favourites into that game, regardless of what they do against Norway this evening, as I'm recording this video. And I'm sure they're going to ring a few changes and put in the best performance they can. Austria looked far more threatening in this game, a bit more composed. However, they still only came away with 2 goals. With all that possession and all that dominance, that is a worrying concern for me from the Austrians, is they had so much time to pick passes, to make runs, that they only come away with 2 goals. I think they would be a little bit frustrated with that, considering that they didn't get anything out the first game. So, yeah, as I say, a lot hinges now on England-Norway. But I think it benefits Austria if that is a draw. If one of those sides win, Austria are also under a lot of pressure because Norway have a better goal differential. So, if it's, let's say, a 1-0 to England, that actually doesn't help. But if it's a 1-0 to Norway, I think that actually helps Austria more because England's goal differential will not be as good, and therefore Austria would actually be in a pole position to take that next step. So the next game is more crucial to the group than people actually realise. But there we go. Hopefully the next game is a little bit more balanced and a little bit more evenly contested. But thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comments section below, and we'll have some more content for you very, very soon.